Okay, I'm all ready to go on the Bowron Lakes. I've got all my gear packed, got my food packed. My pack is about 38 pounds, and I'll explain why it's a little heavy in a minute. I've got all my food in the waterproof bucket. This has a waterproof lid, so if the boat does tip, this stuff all will stay dry. I've got 17 pounds, this bucket is 17 pounds, the food and the bucket. When you are doing the portages on the Bowron Lakes, and you're using canoe carts, like we will be, you're only allowed 60 pounds of gear in your canoe. So between myself and Nick, they'll be sharing a canoe. We have 31 pounds worth of food and things in our two buckets. So we've got 29 more pounds that we can add. That's going to be the camera, the tripod, and the fishing gear. So we're going to fish, we're going to film, so that should take up the other 29 pounds we have. Okay, so my food, I've already shown that in a previous video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But that's the food, 17 pounds. There is more food in the pack as well that didn't fit in here. Again, carrying heavier food than I normally would on a backpacking trip, because most of the time I'm canoeing, so why not have a few luxuries, right? So that's the food. Before I dig into the pack, I'll be doing the portages in my oboes, dry ridge, whatever they're called here, hiking boots. So for the portages I got the boots. For in the canoe, I'm bringing a pair of old gym shoes. I can put these on, wade in the water, getting in and out of the boat. Don't have to worry about keeping them dry. They should dry pretty quickly, and if I beat the heck out of them on the trip, that's okay. They're old gym shoes, so you'll want something like that for in and out of the water. Last time I took Crocs, I just found that they got too much gravel and sand in them, and they weren't that comfortable. So another piece of gear that's very important: an axe. This one is, I don't know, I'm not a super bushcrafter, so I don't know what, it's just a simple axe, rough neck. But it's not that heavy, so it'll be good in the boat. It'll split the wood. I did make it fairly sharp, so you want an axe for splitting firewood. Life jacket. Definitely want a life jacket. It's mandatory on the Bowron Lakes that you're wearing them at all times. Fishing rod. The fishing, when I went last time, the fishing was incredible. So hopefully we get good fishing again. And I've got on here some brand new 8-pound test line, which should be plenty for the fish that are in there. They're between 4 and 8 pounds. So I'll be using light gear, light line. Should be fun. I also have this little hip pouch here. This is part of that 29 pounds of extra gear in the canoe. And in here I've got fish lures, a few flies. I've got another spool of heavier line in case I find out that there's some real whopper fish out there and I need a bigger line. Spare buckle, because one of the boys has a broken buckle on his pack, so he's going to need that one. So we're bringing that. Got some weights so I can get down deep for the fish, and camera batteries in a waterproof box. I've got this little charger. So this is charged with enough power to charge my iPod twice or my GoPro about 3 times. So I carry that. spare batteries for the GPS, and each battery has a piece of tape on it. So, and these for the headlamp, and they're taped together. So when I use the battery and it's dead, I peel the tape off, it goes back in here. I can tell which batteries are charged and which batteries aren't. I learned that from the channel Maddie the Goose. Excellent, if you like canoe videos, I highly recommend Maddie the Goose. So anyways, I've got 4 batteries for the SLR. I've got 4 extra batteries for the GoPro. And 3 sets of batteries for the GPS. Plus I can charge the GoPro again if I need to. So. And that's all in this watertight box here. So. Oh, and my headphones. I'll put those back in. So that I can listen to podcasts, or if we get rained in, I can watch a movie on my iPod. As much as I like to get totally away and immerse myself in nature, if it's a thunder and rainstorm, I don't want to lie there listening to that all night long. I may want to listen to some music or a podcast, so I'll bring those. So that's the extra gear. I also have my monopod. Okay, I'll bring that. Can you see the 3 paddles? Okay, my cameraman says yes. My camera woman says yes. So we bring 3 paddles, 1 for myself, 1 for Nick, 1 spare. Very important. My ugly hat. You might recognize it from the intro. It really doesn't look good on me. I didn't realize that until I watched that intro a couple times. But it keeps the sun off, it keeps the rain off. There's no fashion police out there. So I'm going to bring that hat. And of course, neoprene gloves for paddling. Prevents blisters, keeps your hands warm if the water's cold. And we're expecting cold temperatures. It's early July, but it's one of the coldest early Julys we've had. We're expecting in Celsius the temperatures to get as high as 13 and average around 5. So it's going to be the water should be chilly. It won't be like last time when it was 30 degrees Celsius and I was swimming every day. Okay, it's time to go through the pack. On the outside, I have this blue closed cell foam pad. That is going to go in my hammock. I am going to put my sleeping pad, my thermarest, inside my sleeping bag. And then I'm going to use this opened up just for my shoulders. I'll open it not widthwise but lengthwise so it can curl up at my shoulders. And that will give me just that little bit of extra insulation on my shoulders. So that's why I'm carrying that. Okay. On the outside I've got tent poles. Tent poles. Yes, I said tent poles. I'm taking a tent and a hammock. I have not used the hammock enough to know that I can trust it in all situations. I don't know that I'm going to have trees to hang it. And it's light enough that I can just add it to the tent. And so hopefully I can use the hammock every night. If I can't, I'm covered. I'm not sleeping on the ground, or I'm not sleeping in the rain. This is extra food. That's just another 2 pounds of food that didn't fit in the bucket. Oh, yes, I have grid lines on my face. That's because my Venetian blinds, the sun's coming through and it's casting shadows on my face. So my cameraman is pointing that out to me. Camera woman. Tarp. So go over the hammock, or if I end up not in the hammock, we can still stay dry under that. Something I read on a forum or a Facebook group was someone saying they're doing the Bowron Lakes, how are they going to keep all their stuff dry in their pack? I've got a very heavy duty garbage bag. Actually an Adventure Smart survival bag from the Search and Rescue, the local Search and Rescue. And so I'm just lining my pack with that. So, and then I twist it and fold it up at the top. And when I load the packs in the canoe, we're going to load Nick and I's packs standing up this way, back to back. So if there is any water in the bottom of the canoe, the bottom of the pack will get wet, but the bag will keep everything dry, in theory. Same GSI cook set that's in my backpacking gear video. I have that. I have the MSR pocket rocket in here. A little micro towel. All that stuff. The tent, scrunched up as small as I can get it. That's the MSR tent. 2 things of fuel. I can probably do it on one, but I don't want to get 8 days or 7 days into the trip and not have fuel, so I'm bringing 2. Also, I'm going with the boys. No guarantee that the boys are going to be, I don't say smart enough, but the boys are going to be thinking enough to make sure that their fuel canisters are full. So I have 2 full fuel canisters. We did have one of the boys last year show up on day 1 with a quarter of a fuel canister going. Is this going to be enough? So I've got my fleece jacket, and it's just an inexpensive Mark's Work Wearhouse fleece jacket. It's nothing fancy. So I added that the other day when I saw the forecast that it's supposed to be so cold and wet. I've got the Mountain Hardwear down jacket, which is great as long as it stays dry. So again, that's why I've got the fleece. All my clothes are in a dry bag, an Outdoor Research dry bag. And in here I have a pair of shorts, a long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, change of underwear, 2 pairs of socks. So that. Okay, so I've got the Thermarest, my Thermarest Pro Plus that in my hammock video I put inside the sleeping bag. So I'm bringing that to sleep on. I've got the Firelight Outdoors double hammock. So hopefully I can use that every night. I have the Portec Outdoor Gear bug mesh for the hammock. Can't wait to use that. And in the very bottom I have the North Face Cat's Meow sleeping bag, as well as my base camp pillow, which if I'm in the hammock I won't need, and if I'm on the ground I'm going to be happy to have it. And of course the hammock suspension straps are in there. So that's everything in the pack. Outside of the pack I have a small tarp, just a little 4x6 tarp that I can put underneath the hammock when I'm getting in and out. I have my Sea to Summit poncho tarp. So poncho or an extra tarp. On the outside I have the Bear Grylls Gerber survival knife. It's got the flint and steel on it. It's good for batoning wood or carving a paddle. If we're bored and want to do some carving, I can carve a little paddle. I may do that this trip. Not a usable paddle, just a souvenir paddle. I've got a GPS, so we can, and in here I've loaded all the waypoints for the campsites around the Bowron Circuit. So at any given time we can know how far away we are from camp, or if a campsite is full, how far it is to the next camp. So that's a handy bit. And that's all on the Bowron Lakes website. If you go there you can download the KML file or KMZ file, whatever it is, and put it on your GPS. So that's great. If you're planning the trip, that's something to know. Got my pack towel, so if we do get a sunny day and I go swimming, I can dry off with that. It was very valuable last time. I also used it to keep the sun off my neck, but it's not looking like we're going to have that problem this year. Platypus gravity filter. Got that for filtering all the water. That's everything on the outside. Oh, I've got these 2 carabiners here for either hanging the hammock or any other things I may need them for. In the back pouch, I have a rain jacket, and I wouldn't normally bring the rain jacket and the poncho tarp, but because we're expecting April-like weather in July, I'm bringing extra stuff. So, rain pants and a pack cover. This will go over my pack when it goes in the boat as well to help try to keep it as dry as possible. And in the top lid, I've got a whistle that's going to go on my life jacket. Two rolls of toilet paper, or 2 half rolls of toilet paper. The Spot, I've covered that before, Spot Messenger. If you don't know what one is, I would check out, there's lots of videos on it. It sends an okay, I'm in camp message. It can send another personal message, or we set it to say we're on the lake and everything's good in the morning, and okay, we're in camp at night. A bug mesh. So if the black flies are bad, really fashionable. I've used that in a couple of my videos too. Look back at my Dudney, I believe it was a Dudney Walktham trail. I had that on at lunchtime while everyone was swatting flies. So, and that's another outdoor research product. It's an excellent little bug hat. Sunglasses, and I've got them in a fleece case to try to keep them from getting scratched up. First aid kit. Headlamp that I stole from my daughter because it's super light. It's much lighter than the ones I had, so yeah, my cameraman. Prescription pills, and I've got a few extra batteries for the headlamp. So again, I know there's going to be one of the boys going to come up on day 2 and say, the batteries in my headlamp are dead. So I'm going to say, I've got some extras. What do you have to trade? Oh, that beef jerky looks good. Okay, and an extra buckle for my pack in case one breaks. So this will fit my pack and Nick's pack if we need a buckle. Again, check out Matty the Goose. He did an 8-day trip with his dog and he broke his buckle on I think day 1 or 2. So in Algonquin Park. Okay, so anyways, that's the top lid. I'll put the rest back there. And I think that's it. That is, yeah, that's all she wrote. That's what I'm bringing on the Bowron Lakes for 8 days, 7 nights, and hopefully all goes well and the weather forecast changes a little bit. Until next time, thanks for watching. I don't know. I know one of the boys has a broken puckle on it. Puckle? A poking puckle. Watch my hammock video. I'm going to put my sleeping bag. Show my sleeping bag. Smarten up.